Once you've completed your transcription or you've typed some information on the session control, the Note tab will show you an option to generate a note, unless you've got auto note generation selected under the gear, in which case Note will generate the automatically based on template linked to that appointment type for you. In this case, we haven't done that, so we've got our default note here, but you can select any other note. You can simply preview them by hovering over them, but we'll stick with what we've got. This drop down here shows you the brevity of the note. So if you want to use shorthand, breathe, and then the paragraphs get longer and longer and more detailed as you go over that way. Standard's fine for most cases unless you want shorter notes specifically. And then once you're ready, just generate the note. That normally takes a few seconds. While it's generating, you'll notice things like omit optional or patient one placeholders. Those get filled out once the note's completed, as you can see there. So the placeholders just is because we remove the patient information before sending it off to the AI and then repopulate it once it's done. The omit optional is just part of the template which says those fields are optional. So which means if it doesn't find information for it, it removes it rather than just saying not mentioned. So it's just part of the template. But once it's done, you can see all the information there. You will also see your compliance check run if there's a compliance check associated with the appointment. And in this case, we can see there's a few things we haven't done. There's no goals review, nothing like that. So you can add notes if you've done those and simply type goals, and it will add it to the documentation. Check, and you can then regenerate that note based on the compliance check, and that compliance should now appear better. It's showing that because I just loaded a random transcript. It wasn't really a 940. And you can see there it's checking the compliance. You don't need to wait for the compliance to check before you do any edits. You can go in and do edits. Just be aware if you regenerate, those edits will be removed. So it might be worthwhile just waiting for your compliance check before you do so. But in the meanwhile, you can read your note, make sure you're happy with it. And we can see there, yeah, we've passed. Yeah, so it didn't pick up on my goal review, it didn't believe me. But that's fine. Won't worry about that now. And we can see what we want to see. We can essentially edit anything we want to edit by just clicking and typing. And you can delete different things, etc. If you've made significant edits, you'll see this Learn Style pop up. Clicking that will actually take what you've edited and teach the AI that that's your preference. So once you've finished editing, if you see that and it was like details you wanted more of, less of, you can click Learn Style and will update the AI's information about you and how you like to write your reports and notes. So that next time you generate a report that or note will be more like the way you like it. You can also regenerate a note. So if it's completely wrong or you want more information about the patient history, you can say, and I'll just regenerate, and that creates a whole new copy, again deleting any edits you've made. So be aware that you don't do that after you've edited everything. Unless you've used the learning, then it will require less editing, but that will capture a bit more of the report kind of information if it's available in the transcript. You can also, again, if this is auto-generated, you can select a different template from here to generate it with, even though it's not linked to the appointment type. If you wanted a different sort of layout or anything for whatever reason, it will still compare the compliance against the appointment type, not the template. But yeah, that's just worthwhile to understand. That you can do that. You can change the length again of the note, anything like that. You can copy the note. So typically for council ear, you'd copy it as HTML. That is just the HTML format used in council ear's case history notes and the reports. If you go and edit those and you paste as into the HTML box, it will be nicely formatted. Because I changed the template, a lot of the information that's required for the 940 is not captured in this note format, which is why we've got the different templates, because it contains different information, why this one's failing. Plain text is normally what you do to paste it in your normal CRM's note field, but you can also export as a PDF, in which case it generates a PDF of your letterhead or your logo at least. And you can also export to Word if you want to edit it there for whatever reason. You can delete a note, so if you, for whatever reason, but you can also click Improve, which is the AI assistant. And here you can do things like gives you some suggestions, because it basically sends it to AI and see what you might want to change. So let's just click that. Or you can type your own complaint, and it will actually send that to AI along with the transcript, along with the template, along with the note where all the PHI has been removed, and it will show you the recommendations. So essentially, it's going to add a hearing aid recommendation section. In this case, it's saying you can basically then say choose other options. So it's saying add a variable to do that, test with transcript or example phrasing. Which we're just going to see what this does. So essentially, it's added this, and this variable here has this information inside it. You can then test it, which shows up at the bottom there. And because it's an optional variable, it's not showing because the actual transcript doesn't have it, so it was basing on the appointment type. But if you accept it, this is actually going to improve the template. So you may or may not have this button, depending if you've got the right to edit a template. But that is essentially the entire note tab. With your editing, you've got undo and all those sort of headers and things. You can add tables, etc. So yeah, that's Note tab for you.